There is no dark side of the moon.
Matter of fact, it's all dark.
Let's have a podcast, listen to a podcast. Here is a podcast, listen to a podcast. Let's have a podcast, listen to a podcast. Here is the podcast, listen to the podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Cinnamon Lampshade.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you. This next song that I'm going to be singing is called Ouija Board, Ouija Board. And the last time I used one of them, the spirits told me that you should join me in my dressing room after the song, sweetheart. I'll see you later. Ouija board, Ouija board, Ouija board. Would you work for me? I have got to say hello to an old friend. Ouija board, Ouija board, Ouija board. Would you work for me? I have got to get through to a good friend. Well, she has now gone from this unhappy planet with all the carnivores and the destructors on it. Bit weird that, wasn't it, Matt? Bit eerie. It's like that. It's like a different introduction to the podcast, because this is a very special podcast, isn't it, Matt?
Yeah, I mean, what was that?
That? Well,
Yeah.
it was just me plonking around on your keyboard.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Did you like it?
I wasn't paying attention.
I was improvising. I've been doing improvising.
Well, it's good to learn to think of things to say.
Do you ever get the feeling that someone else is listening to our conversation?
Definitely not, even though we do record them and put them out as a podcast. I'm Matt Cornah, by the way.
And I'm Cobley, and this is Matt and Cobley's podcast. That's what it's called, isn't it?
Yes, welcome.
Welcome.
Come in and join us.
Come in, sit down. Don't touch me. Don't look at me.
There's no
Don't
way.
touch Matt's
There's
furniture.
no way for them to do that. This is an audio-only project.
Yes, this is. Yeah, it is.
Yes. But this is a podcast where me and him, that is Cobley, we talk about things we don't know anything about. And I'm wondering, Cobley, what?
Well, this week we're going to talk exclusively about parapsychology, the paranormal, ghosts,
The unexplained,
the strange,
the unknown,
the weird,
the supernatural,
the things.
And we don't know anything about that because none of it is real.
Well, you say that, Matt.
Yeah.
Also,
But that keyboard just played itself, though, didn't it?
well, no.
Oh, no, you did. I
was
remember
me.
that from before.
Told you I
Yeah,
did it.
sorry. Yeah, I got that wrong.
The first song that you heard prior to my little keyboard eerie intro there was
Cinnamon
Cinnamon
Lampshade again, wasn't it?
yeah. Another recording that you've made of him singing a cover of Morrissey's Ouija Board, which sets the mood, doesn't it? Yeah, sets the mood.
What is a Ouija board?
A Ouija board,
Yeah.
it's like a gateway to the paranormal, isn't it, apparently?
Right.
Well,
Yeah, one day what we should do, right, is we should get one.
We've got one. We've done this. You're preempting the whole show. This is the star attraction, is that we've fucking got one.
Yeah, but what I was trying to do, Cobley, was I was trying to construct a fictional idea where at the beginning of the podcast we say, oh, we should get a Ouija board. And then by the end of it,
Someone's delivered it.
Yeah.
That's not, it doesn't happen, does it?
The listeners aren't going to buy into that, are they not?
No.
All right. Yes, I'll come clean. We've got a Ouija board. Ouija board.
I think that's right.
Yeah. So at the end of the podcast, listeners, you can look forward to me and Cobley making contact with the other side. And
Certainly trying to. Yeah. We basically had nothing to say other than, a ghost's real? I don't know. Have you ever seen a ghost? That's pretty much all we're going to say in this podcast.
Yeah.
So in order to try and drag it out a little bit longer, I can't remember which one of us it was that suggested we purchase a Ouija board.
yes, and we got this for, what was it, £4.50 from... eBay.com.
It was £4.50 each.
Yes, £4.50 each, which makes us a grand total of hold on a minute. £11, and we got that from www.ebay.com. That's www.ebay.com.
You've said that more times than you've said our own website.
That's true, isn't it? Yeah, our own website isn't www.ebay.com. What is the URL of our one?
It's mattandcobley.com.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You've got that to look forward to. I was dicking around with a fucking A4 printed Ouija board.
Yeah, we went with the A4 one because we thought audio-only medium, probably not going to get our money's worth.
You never know.
Yeah.
I hope it works. I hope we get to speak to someone, on the other side, and our theories. Yeah,
that was a good sentence. I liked it.
You agree?
I agree with it. I mean, the thing is, Cobley, I agree with everything you say.
Good.
The only question I have about the Ouija board is, I mean, do we want to talk to anyone from the other side?
Well, I won't be too asked, as long as it's not great Aunt Cobley.
Oh God, no, yeah.
Do you remember her?
I do actually, because you were saying the other day. I think I've got repressed memories of her.
Yeah, you probably.
The things she did. Yeah. I mean, for the listeners' sake, though, perhaps you should explain
about why I don't want to speak to Great Aunt Cobley.
Yes, I mean,
well, because I spent much of my young adult life speaking to Great Aunt Cobley.
Too much. In many people's opinion. Yeah.
She was an all right woman, but she wouldn't stop talking to me. She just spoke endlessly to me. Endlessly. From the moment I popped out of the womb, she was there, yapping. So I don't really want to speak to her. I've said everything I wanted to say.
When you could get a word in edgeways.
Exactly, stupid fucking Great Aunt Cobley.
Shall we crack on with the show?
I think we should, yeah. Well, how are you doing?
Me?
We need to exchange pleasantries first, don't we?
That's true, isn't it? Okay,
diving into the whatever this is.
I'll go first. How are you?
How am I?
Yeah.
I'm all right.
Oh, cool.
I mean, I'm happier because this is episode 6 now, isn't it? So we're over halfway through our...
we're over the hump.
Our sentence of having to do these podcasts every single week for 10 weeks.
Our privilege.
It's not a privilege, is it? We're here against... I'm not even going into this. Halfway through our sentence.
Don't listen to him, Terry.
In 4 weeks' time, there won't be a big guy guarding the door, guarding my escape. I'll be gone.
Yeah, so
I'm all right. Apart from that, I can't complain too much. How are you, Matt? How's life?
Oh, well, maybe I should just tell you about a thing that happened to me about 2 days ago, and then you can tell me if my mental health is at risk.
I'm always intrigued, Matt. I'm always intrigued.
So, I was going to go to the shops, right, to buy some provisions. Yeah, as is my want and my right. So what I thought I'd do is I would go there via my automobile. Went down to my car, got in, whacked the keys in, started the engine, and...
do you have to go through every single step?
Listen, Cobley, these steps are relevant to the story.
Okay. All right. Sorry. I'm sorry.
And I think to myself, right, hold on a minute. Have I actually locked my flat door? And I think, I don't think I have. So I run back up, leave the keys in the car, because I think, it's going to be all right.
No one's going to take that heap of shit.
10 seconds. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's an absolute train wreck of a car, which is weird, because it's a car and not a train. Anyway, I ran up to the flat, and I had left it open. So, good work, Matt! Proper, because it's quite difficult to close the door, so I
I know.
With all my strength, ram it back into the door hole.
The door hole?
Yeah, the door hole.
Okay.
And then I run back down to the car, only to discover that the door of the car is locked with no apparent way of me getting into it.
So your car locks itself when the engine's on?
Yes, what I think had happened, well, what I know had happened now, is that the battery had gone dead, and because of that, I'd had to use the manual door opening to get into the car. I hadn't thought anything of it at the time, but the door was still locked. The only reason I got in was because I opened the key with the normal manual method of getting in. So consequently, I was locked out of my car, my still running car, and my flat.
I like how you'd locked yourself out of your flat after you'd locked yourself out of the car. It's just like rubbing salt into the wound, isn't it? Like you could have sought salvation in your apartment.
Yeah.
But you'd actually lock yourself out of that as well, so all you've really got is the outside now. Well, not now, because we're in your apartment, presumably you found a way out of this.
Well, I mean, it was a very difficult situation. I rang my dad about it.
Is he out of prison now?
I believe so, yeah.
Is he doing all right?
He's on parole anyway. He told me he could break in.
Well, yeah.
I said, don't worry, I'll ring my landlord first. before you bring your equipment. So yeah, I just ended up knocking on doors of all the people who lived in flats in and around my estate and tried to find if anyone knew my landlord or what his name was.
So even though you rent this apartment out from your landlord,
I don't have any details about who he is, what he is, where he is.
Well, I suppose if you did, they'd be in your apartment, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
Which is the problem. Okay, so you're knocking on doors.
Yeah.
Going,
Eventually I found...
Through the letterboxes. What's the name of the landlord?
I mean, that's astonishing because that's both a very good impression of me and it's also verbatim what I was doing.
If someone did that through my letterbox, I'd ram a broom through the letterbox.
Well, fortunately, I don't live near you, so that problem never arose. I eventually found someone who did know...
I got, here's the name of the fucking landlord, and shove a broom in the face.
Yeah, I got a few of those.
Yeah.
That accounts for my bruised face.
All right, okay.
I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah, I thought it'd be rude to ask, but...
I eventually found someone who knew the name of the landlord and nothing else, so I ended up going on Facebook. Have you ever been to www.facebook.com?
Twice.
Yeah. So I went to a few profiles on facebook.com with that name. I ended up contacting lots of people with my landlord's name until I found the one that was my one of it.
So you just fucking inboxed everybody with the same name as your landlord in the hope that the correct guy would reply?
Well, it was quite a strange name, so there was only about 12 of them. 12? Still occasionally get messages back saying, who are you?
Brilliant, Matt.
Found him eventually, he got me in.
You know, I was gonna say, locking yourself out of your car, it happens to the best of us, and it's not your fault that you went out to close your apartment.
No.
But yeah, I think emailing upwards of 12 people asking them if they're your landlord, that's a bit peculiar.
So, in your assessment, am I going backward?
Probably.
So, never mind all that fucking shit about how I'm doing.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the paranormal.
Fuck you. And let's talk about the paranormal.
Yeah. We're going to try and encompass the supernatural and also anything covered by the television show The X-Files as being part of its mythology. What was that thing in The X-Files that was like a creature in the woods? I mean, there's probably a few episodes like that, but...
Well, what did it do? What was the...
Yeah, it's like a Mexican name, like a...
El Chacrito.
El Chacrito, that's it, yeah.
Yeah?
Goes around eating goats and stuff.
I remember that one.
Yeah, sucking
good.
them dry, yeah.
Yeah.
El
Turned out it was
Chacrito.
just some angry Spanish guy, wasn't it? Really?
Yeah.
It wasn't an X-File.
Yeah, it's just really hairy.
He was just really angry. I think we're going to try and discuss some weird shit that may or may not have happened to us or our immediate family. Is that right?
Yeah.
And try and get to the bottom of it. And then at the end of it, try and speak to the undead with a Ouija board. The undead? The dead. There's no speaking to the undead.
No, they don't listen, do they? Not. They're just all going... And I'm like, mate, what are you on about? Strange things happen on Halloween, though, don't they?
Well, in the films, yeah, in the movies and on the TV.
And in real,
Well,
all these kids go dressed up as weird things, and you're like,
that's trick or treating, isn't it?
trick or treating.
Shut up! Don't pretend. Don't treat me and everybody else like a fool. Have you ever been trick or treating?
No,
Why not?
scared.
What's scared of other children dressed as ghosts?
I had a go at it last year, and I just thought,
Last year?
it's not for me. This.
No. I suppose, yeah.
I went in like a cloak.
I've only gone trick or treating once in my life.
Oh yeah.
When I was about 10 or something like that.
I'm confused about trick or treating though, because I'm not sure what the system is exactly. Is it that if they say trick, you're supposed to like throw bricks through their wall or not wall, window, possibly their wall?
I think. Well, I'll tell you what I did.
Okay.
And it wasn't.
Piss in the letterbox.
No, it wasn't pissing in the letterbox or throwing bricks through windows or anything like that.
Or the walls.
Generally, most people gave me sweets or didn't answer the door. So we didn't play tricks on people that didn't answer the door. I was dressed as a skeleton, by the way.
A skeleton.
A skeleton. Skeleton, whichever. Yeah. I was dressed as both.
Okay, I mean...
It consisted of like a black cape, I think.
No, skeletons don't wear capes.
Well, mine did.
Okay.
And also, my dad painted my face white with
like a roller.
Yes. Literally, yes.
All right. Yeah. That's good.
My dad's a painter and decorator and had a lot of white paint on him, so he
just on him.
Well, he always carries it around in case he needs to paint anything.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I'll go with that. Yeah, so he's just come back from work and you go, Daddy, it's Halloween. Can I be a skeleton, please?
Well, I didn't sound like a complete cock like that. No.
Okay.
But
Daddy, it's
better.
Halloween.
That's better.
Can you paint me like a skeleton?
And he went, sure thing, son, and pulled out the pot of paint from his pocket.
Cool. That's really sweet of your dad. What did it end up looking like?
Well, I just looked like a child with white paint on my face.
So did he not make any effort to make you look like a skeleton?
No, but believe me,
got white on you.
It did look petrifying. So yeah, so I only have one memory. I remember getting.
I only have one memory as well.
Yeah. Shut up. One memory of this trick, because like I said, most people were giving us sweets.
Yeah.
But there was this one lady who was hoovering up. And we knocked on the door. I could hear her hoovering up. I can't remember who the hell I was. Am I in with my sister? No, I wasn't with my sister. No, I wouldn't do anything with her. So I could hear her hoovering inside. So I banged on the door again. And this woman opens up the door. And we go, trick or treat! She goes, no, I'm sick of you people coming round! And slammed the door like that.
Right.
Which I thought was a bit mean, really, on a 10-year-old child.
Covered in paint.
Yeah. Something bad could have happened to me, Matt. Couldn't it?
Yeah, you could have just been in an accident or something. And you're covered in paint, and you could be a child that's just fallen into a vat of paint.
Fallen into some paint.
Because famously, you used to live near the paint factory.
Well, there was a paint factory near where I used to live. Yeah.
You just come out now. Just climbed out of the vat of paint, and you think, right, before I get home, I'll do a bit of trick or treating because I look a bit like a skeleton.
Or it could have been something as simple as I was taking a nap next to a wall that was getting painted.
Exactly.
And the painters didn't see me.
Right.
So they painted me. My face.
And she's brazenly going, oh, no, get away from me, young child, clearly in distress.
I'm fucking hoovering. Yeah.
I won't give you any of my sweets.
So you know what I did?
Yeah. No, I don't know what you did.
I'm glad. If you did know, that would mean you knew that woman for her to tell you, or you were watching me. That's what that would mean.
Yeah, it would. But anyone who says that I do know her is lying.
Yeah. But anyway, what we did was she had some like ceramic plant pots outside her door, quite large ones.
Smash them.
Yeah, smash them to smithereens. And I set fire to them. Then I broke into a car and drove off.
Right.
Rode around the estate a few times. Ran over a few people. Packed it back up outside a house and then rung the police and said, I've just seen some crazy woman with white paint. Just running people over.
You know, I mean, the problem I think often with this podcast is that the line between reality and fiction is blurred. So if you want, you can provide the listener with what actually happened now, if you like.
Yeah. Well, okay. Well, I didn't do any of that. I picked up a ceramic pot and put it behind a car, so
that she would run over it when she set off.
yeah. So she could have a car accident. No, it was certainly in sight that it would have annoyed her. So she would have. It was more of an obstacle. She'd have to move it out of the way. Not that she would drive over it. Although you've got me thinking now, if perhaps she didn't take notice in the morning when she was heading off to work and reversed into a giant ceramic plant pot.
Yeah. You're a giant ceramic plant pot. But enough of that shit.
You're going to keep doing that every.
I think this is going to be the theme of this week's podcast. I don't think I swear enough. So
I think I swear too much. Yeah.
Right, you fuckers. Have you ever seen a ghost, Cobley?
Have I ever seen a ghost?
A ghoul.
Probably.
All right.
I've seen a ghost train.
How would you know if you'd seen one?
What, a ghost train?
Yeah.
Well, I knew that I saw one because...
I suppose you'd first clock the ghost tracks.
Well, it was on some old tracks.
Oh, so the tracks weren't ghosts?
No, the tracks had been removed long ago. But it was some old abandoned train track near where I used to live.
Wow. Where?
In Ashton Heath had an old train line running through it. And out playing with my friends in the corner of my eye, I saw a red and white train. And I looked.
Yeah.
And it was gone. So it was a ghost train.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Was it like an old steam engine, or was it like a
diesel?
Northern Line?
Northern Line, yeah. No, it was
Northern Trains. That's it.
I think it was just like a posh looking steam train.
Okay.
Locomotive. It was like kind of curved at the front.
Right.
I'm under no illusion. I don't believe that I saw a train that had passed away and was still fucking doing the same journey in the afterlife.
Okay, but I
did see it. I did see it from through my eyes. You know?
Shall we accept, for the sake of argument, that what you did see was actually a ghost train and not just some kind of...
We can do that. Yeah. What would it achieve?
Well, I just want to speculate as to the metaphysics of ghost trains.
Right.
So, how do you think a train can die?
Well, we're getting very philosophical now, Matt, aren't we?
Well, this is what this podcast is about.
Well,
philosophy. That episode's coming up.
Jesus, I hope not.
ghost train.
Yeah, I mean, if it would imply that it would have had to have some kind of soul originally, wouldn't it? So, yeah, I don't know, really, if they're alive.
You don't know if trains are alive?
Now that you mention it, I don't.
I mean, how long... how long have you struggled with this?
Well, just since you mentioned it.
Okay.
Starting to have second thoughts now.
No, actually, now I think about it. How do you know? How do you know a train is alive?
Well, you don't, that's it.
You don't know, do you not?
No.
So,
Well, how do you know? You just assume that they're not. You just assume that someone's made them, don't you?
you're right.
A lot of life is based on people making wild assumptions, isn't it?
Do you think trains are all alive?
Well, that's what I don't know, Matt.
Do you think we are cruel to them?
Well, if they were alive...
Because I sometimes think this about horses back in the old days. Do you think they were annoyed about being rode on all the time by everyone? And now I think maybe the trains are alive as well.
The same way that horses are.
Yeah. And they just spend all their lives just running back and forth, doing this, ferrying people around.
Until it's time for the scrap heap.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So when you hear that noise,
Yeah.
that means time for the scrap heap.
Yeah. That's really blown my mind, Cobley. And that would explain your ghost train.
And it would explain why I saw a ghost train as well.
Maybe a train was killed before its time around where you used to live. And it's haunting that area till it can get closure.
And just keeps doing that same journey.
Yeah.
Day in, day out.
Yeah.
Or I just, just saw something out of the corner of my eye and my brain assumed it was a train.
It might have been a speck in your eye.
It might have just been something like nothing.
Bit of dust.
It might have been just a sparrow or something, some bird.
Or dust on your retinas.
Bit of dust on the retina, yeah. Yeah, or a sparrow.
Or a sparrow.
Or both. A dusty sparrow on my retina.
Dusty sparrow on your retina.
I think that's probably more likely, isn't it? So what about you, Matt? Have you ever seen anything weird? Seen any ghosts? Seen any inanimate object ghosts?
Inanimate object ghosts? No, don't think so. Although I did a while ago, I got my fortune told.
Yeah?
Yeah.
By who?
By whom?
Sorry. By whom?
Yes. Well, I'll tell you by whom. By Jove, I will. I used to work at a pub. They allowed me to work behind a bar.
Right.
They actually let me serve people drinks.
I don't know why you're telling me like I don't know. I remember.
I'm telling the audience as well as you, Cobley.
Okay,
this is setting up the
because you're
story.
looking at me, aren't you?
Oh, shut up!
You're looking at me, so I think you're talking to me.
It's confusing, isn't it?
That's how it works.
You forget that this is a show that people actually listen to, don't you?
Not many, but people do.
Upwards of 4 people listen to this. But one of the conceits of this podcast is that we talk to each other and we explain to each other things that we already know so that the audience knows as well. Admittedly, we're not very good at doing that, but we do try to do that.
We do. We get confused and things. But so anyway,
I used to work at a pub. I don't know if you know this.
Yeah.
A few years ago, I was actually allowed to serve drinks to members of the public.
That's really cool.
Don't react in a sarcastic voice.
I'm just saying it's really cool.
Yeah.
I wish I could remember.
Yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame that I have to remind you of these things that have happened to me.
Yeah.
But,
Do you remember when I used to come round your house and we used to record podcasts?
Week by week. Oh yeah, that's yeah.
Oh, shit, we're doing it now. We're doing it now. Sorry, go on. So who the fuck told you your fortune?
So when I was working behind the bar, someone who worked there, their mother came in once, and she was introduced to me as having certain supernatural abilities of clairvoyance and the like, which I just took at face value to be, completely correct.
Yeah. Well, you would, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Well, why would they lie about being clairvoyant? There's no reason.
No.
Darren Brown doesn't lie about it, does he? No.
No, Yeah. Who?
Sorry, is it Darren Brown's? Something like that.
I don't know.
Or Dan Brown. Anyway, Paul Daniels. Anyway, upon being introduced to this mother woman, we exchanged pleasantries and also a drinks order. And she, without prompting, decided to read my fortune.
Was it like a palm reading or something?
Yes, that's right. She got my palm across. She sort of ran her finger across my palm whilst clasping it with the other hand.
Yeah.
And then looked at me eye to eye and told me, 2009, Variety magazine, which is extremely prescient because, of course, as you'll know, in 2009 I appeared in Variety magazine, which I reckon is a real magazine, on the front page, which is, I believe, what she was trying to convey.
So she said that in 2009 you'd end up on the front page of a magazine that's called Variety Magazine.
Yes, evidently at some point it had been conveyed to her that I played the flute, so obviously the natural progression from that would be that I would be a big flute-playing star that we all know like today.
An incarcerated felon.
I've never had my fortune told about my future incarceration, so I'm hoping that I'll get away with it, whatever it is.
But basically the fortune didn't work out very well for you.
What are you on about?
What are you saying? Well, you didn't appear on the front cover of Variety Magazine, otherwise...
You don't know that.
Well,
You've not checked. You've not even checked if it's a real magazine.
Probably isn't.
Admittedly, neither have I, but it could be true.
So in that case, if it's not true, then it's fair to say that you did appear on the front of it.
Yeah, it's fair. What I'm saying is I had my fortune told, and I have not as yet confirmed that it was wrong.
So, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose, so to you, it could be true.
Yeah.
Which in many ways is the same as the paranormal, isn't it?
Well, I think the problem with people like you, Cobley, is you don't keep an open mind to the possibility of strange things.
Matt, we've just discussed the possibility of trains being alive. How can you say my mind's not open?
Right, I can do it like this. Cobley, your mind's not open.
Well, you can say that, but you need citations.
Oh, yeah.
And
sorry.
I've just citated a previous conversation that we had about ghost trains.
I forgot about the previous conversation. Look, listen, there's no consistency in these podcasts.
No, we might as well just dribble for 40 minutes. Dribble into the microphone.
That would be better.
Until the microphone stopped working because of too full of
because
dribble.
of water damage.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look, I have my fortune told.
Should we start? So sorry, you had your fortune told.
Yeah. That's the end of the story. There's nothing. I had my fortune told. Maybe it came true.
You've not checked to
I've
find
not
out.
checked.
I think it's time for an ad break. Found him in the early hours, Sarge. Looks like he's been beaten to death with a frying pan or something. There's blood everywhere.
Were there any witnesses, do you know?
Nah, but we think it might be the wife. She's done a bunk.
Ah, it's the classic case of the wife doing a bunk. Yeah, Constable, is that what I think it is? My policeman's nose is a-tingling.
What's that, Sarge? Yeah, it smells like...
Whoa, sausages!
Well, I don't think he's going to miss any if I put a couple on, Sarge, if you know what I mean. What do you think?
Absolutely!
Fantastic!
Sausages, sausages, oh, sausages, sausages.
Sausages. What else do you want to talk about?
Well, what is the name of this podcast again?
Parapsychology.
Parapsychology. I want to talk about parapsychology, of course. What kind of question's that?
Well, have you seen any more weird things apart from a ghost train?
I'm a man on the edge, Matt. Strange things follow me around. You know.
Okay.
Strange happenings. Put it this way, Matt. It's not just ghost trains that appear before my eyes.
What are you on about? Ghost train? Oh yeah, from before. I remembered it now. Yeah.
I've seen. Well, I have to preface this by saying
You have to preface this.
Preface. Yeah.
Preface.
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 Yeah. Preface.
Preface.
Preface. Don't get hung up on little things, Matt.
Sorry.
I have to preface this by saying that I don't for 1 second believe that any of these things are true.
What did I say about you being closed-minded?
My mind playing tricks on me.
Mm-hmm.
But I have seen an alien in my bedroom.
Right. Okay. Crack on.
Back in my early teens, I still lived at Ma and Pa's house.
Ooh.
I used to
La-di-da.
I used to like listening to a CD before I went to sleep. You know, some music.
Ooh,
You know, just to send me on my sleep
Remember
ways.
back in the day when we had them CD players?
player. I had a little circular CD
Some of the
player.
listeners won't remember them from back in the day.
Well, I had one.
Yeah, you actually had one of them.
And this particular night, it was
You
loaded.
remember? You had to press eject, didn't you? And you had to put the disc in the front.
No, the top lifted up on my
Oh,
CD
it was
player.
one of them modern ones where you had to lift up top.
It was a modern one. My grandma bought it for me.
Oh, grandma.
Grandma Cobley. Anyway, that evening, the CD player was loaded with the album Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band by the Beatles, which I was listening to before I went to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And I woke up in the middle of the night and couldn't get back to sleep. So I thought, I'll listen to a bit more Sgt. Pepper. I put Sgt. Pepper on and listening to it. When the album finished again, I heard a bell sound. I heard a bell toll.
Was that on the record? Was it was it that last chord at the end?
It was as if it was in the room.
Right.
And this thing appeared at the end of my bedroom by my door that looked like a twisted alien thing that was like upright. It was upright like a stand-up Hoover, but with like a twisted face and twisted eyes that was staring at me. And then this bell went bong again, and it dematerialized this alien, and then reappeared right next to my bed, staring at me. Yeah. Do you actually remember me telling you?
I think I remember you saying. Yeah. I think I remember you saying it was glowing green.
Yeah, there was a weird green hue to it.
Yeah.
But I tried desperately to scream.
Right.
For my parents.
But you had no mouth!
But I seemingly had no voice. Presumably it's something that the alien did.
For the podcast, can you say, but you had no mouth?
Why?
It's more dramatic.
Okay.
Yeah.
I tried to scream.
Yeah.
But I had no mouth.
You had no mouth.
No, so I couldn't scream because
so we can just edit that bit.
Okay. My mouth was gone, so I couldn't scream.
No mouth. Yeah.
Yeah. So
you've got your mouth back now, haven't you?
But it was so real. Like I can picture it in my head now as and I was fucking petrified because it was so real. I'm aware that it was probably I was half asleep and
it's really strange.
But it was quite petrifying, especially the bell sound as well, and as it dematerialized.
Yeah, like a kind of
next to my bed.
Funeral chime. I don't know.
Yeah, and I often think like how much of it was real. Like, was it all just a dream?
What do you think it might have been? Your dad in a costume?
No, you fucking idiots. No, I just meant, did I listen to Sgt. Pepper in the early hours? Did I even do that, or was it just in my head?
Oh, and so what you actually listened to was your own mind's version of Sgt. Pepper with its own. Your own Cobley composed versions of all the songs in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I mean, I suppose we never will. Still. But, I mean, for the purposes of this podcast, I suppose we have to at least entertain the possibility that was actually an alien. By the way, how do you know it was an alien and not just the ghost of a twisted man?
It didn't look like a human. It was...
could have been an orangutan.
It kind of had like a bird-like face.
Bird ghost!
It didn't have feathers. And its beak, or whatever it was like twisted into its face. It was disgusting.
Wow. Was it a bit like, like in medieval times where there was plague
doctor?
Yeah.
Similar, yeah, similar to that, but it was more twisted into its own face. The thing, the beak.
I once applied for a job as a plague doctor.
Did you?
Yeah.
Did you get it, or did they say?
Nah, apparently there isn't any plague.
Not much plague nowadays, mate.
Yeah. And we've run out of beaks for costumes. Yeah. Still, they said they'd bring me back if they ever have any openings.
Good.
Yeah. So I know it is good, isn't it?
It's all right. It's all right.
Yeah.
Come on,
Oh. Yeah.
come on. Can I do the rest of the podcast with this voice instead of the other one that we're doing before?
Certainly not.
Okay. So I reckon I can trump your alien story.
Really?
Because, I was telling you earlier about my colleague's mum coming in and telling me my future.
Reading your palm, yeah.
A thing has just re-emerged in my mind brain about that evening, which is that later on that night, I completely accidentally, took her nearly finished drink, threw it away.
What was it?
It was a glass of sherry.
Okay.
Yeah, that she was... just not touched in ages, whatever.
Just imagining the scene, that's all.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm painting an aural picture for the listener.
Beautiful aural canvas.
Thank you, in our ornate pub bar. So having done that, it later transpired that she was a little bit cross with me for throwing away her drink because it wasn't, in fact, finished. Disaster. Now,
the worst thing you can do as a barman, that, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I don't know.
Literally nothing worse you can do.
I mean, I've done horrible things as a barman, but that is the worst thing.
Mm.
But the thing is, I was a little bit indignant and didn't sort of do what you're supposed to do in that situation, which is say, "Oh, sorry, I'll get you another one."
Yeah.
I suppose because I knew her daughter, I just thought, "Oh, come on, mate.
Yeah, you could be a bit more familiar with
Give us
with
a
her.
bit of slack here, come on."
Yeah.
But no, I shouldn't have done that. But what she did in retaliation for that will stay with me until my dying day.
What, does she like rip into your personality or something?
No. My personality doesn't really require ripping into because it is beyond reproach. No, she sort of dangled a kind of pendant. So this sounds like bollocks, but I mean...
yeah.
I think because she was sort of cracking on that she was clairvoyant and stuff, and as we know, she could be correct about the Variety magazine thing.
So she's playing up to the crowd with a pendant?
Yeah.
Right.
And then sort of whispered something, and then walked out. And then the bloke at the bar said, "Yeah, mate, you've just had a gypsy curse, you, mate."
Mr. Exposition at the bar. My goodness, a gypsy curse.
The thing is, I genuinely think I have been cursed, though. I mean, I laughed it off at the time. I just laughed it off. I thought it was nothing.
Yeah.
Mr. Exposition, as you say, he kept banging. He was obsessed with the idea that she was supernatural and magic and stuff, so he was off his head, but still, who knows. But the thing is, this thing keeps happening, and I'm convinced that it's to do with that. So, and this is why I sort of think, the thing I was saying earlier about the prediction of the future, there might be something in it. I mean, I've not looked into it, but there might be, because this is true. Every time I attempt to drink a glass of sherry, it just ends up spilling and going on my crotch. And it just looks like I pissed myself.
What, pissed blood all over yourself?
It's not been unknown. But, yeah. It sounds like bollocks, but it's the weirdest thing. It's like, you'd think like the first couple of times you just sort of shrug it off. But I like a sherry, me. I never say no to a glass of sherry.
So since that day, you've not been able to drink a drop of sherry because every time you've poured yourself a glass, you've spilled it all over your crotch somehow. Is that a good summary?
Well, yeah, but not always directly in the crotch, but always near enough to the groinal area to look like I've had an accident.
See, you've become you're self-fulfilling it for yourself, aren't you? You've obviously not been fucking cursed, but if you seriously think that every time you pour yourself a glass of sherry, it ends up all over your crotch, you're just doing that yourself, aren't you?
No. Like, I know what you're saying. I understand it, right? But if it was just like a couple of times, I can understand how you just make that association in your head. Oh, I've had a gypsy curse. Now I spill sherry on myself. Yeah. I'm not an idiot. Literally every single time I've ever had a sherry since that weird ritual she performed with that fucking pendant, spilt it on myself.
So when
it's always sherry. It's no other drink, just sherry.
When was the last time you've tried this?
Months ago. Still, every time though. I'm sort of scared. I'm sort of scared to drink sherry because of it. It's upset me.
I'm half inclined to nip down to the shops now and just buy a small bottle just to...
I've got some sherry in, but
I've got some sherry in?
I'm scared to drink it because of
get
the gypsy curse.
Do you just try it every few months just to see if you're still cursed?
Well, yeah.
Yeah? Well, try it now. You're in the apartment. Presumably you've got more trousers, so you can just change if you end up doing the same thing, won't you?
Yeah, but what about the gypsy curse?
Yeah, you keep saying it's a gypsy curse, but if someone just wafts a pendant in front of my face, I wouldn't expect to automatically assume that it's a gypsy curse. What do you mean?
It's a gypsy curse, the bloke at the bar said.
Yeah, Dave at the bar said, but...
And she was clairvoyant. And she had funny earrings. And she was decked out all like a fortune teller.
Right, but why? I just don't understand.
I mean...
I don't understand. I mean, was she a gypsy lady?
Yeah, I reckon.
You reckon? That's good enough for you?
I'm not really sure what one is. Anyway.
Right, well, I want you to try this now. If you're so damn sure that you've got a...
All right. I'll tell you what. I'll give it a go, but if I end up spilling it on myself, you have to do a forfeit. Actually, I've got a better idea. Why don't we make this a bet? I'm going to bet you...
Well, you've got a bad history of this over the past few weeks, haven't you?
Right, but I'm quite...
7 days ago, you gave me £80, Matt.
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah. But I will double or quits.
Okay.
£160.
160, fucking A.
I will give you £160.
If I do...
If it does that. No, see, the thing is...
Hold on, if I don't...
Yeah, I'll give you £160 if the curse is true, if it really happens. Okay. Go and get your sherry.
All right. This is going to be fucking embarrassing for you. I'm going to get all my money back.
I think I fucking dropped myself in this one, though, because all he has to do is pour sherry all over his crotch. I can't disprove that he's not cursed. Hello.
Right. Okay. Do you want a sherry?
Do I? No, I'll have to drive home, don't I? Put your microphone near you, no one can hear you.
Sorry. Right then. Cheers.
Tastes good.
Oh, I forgot about the bet. Shit. The curse has been lifted. But enough of that shit.
Yeah, enough
of it. Enough of it.
Tiring me out.
Tell me about your superstitions. Have you got any?
Funny you should say that.
It's quite funny, isn't it?
No?
Oh.
Yeah. You know signposts?
Is that a new sitcom?
Signposts?
Yeah.
No. Well, I don't know what it would involve. It was like sentient signposts chatting, like on a couch.
Yes, it is.
Like a big stop sign. Darling, have you made the tea yet?
And who would stop sign be married to? I think,
Give way?
Give way.
Maybe he's having an affair with Give way.
Yeah. Creepy bastard. This is good. This is gold, Cobley. Keep going.
Okay.
Tell me more about Signposts.
Signposts. Yeah, it's my favourite sitcom.
Yes.
I've been watching most of the series. I didn't like series 2. They tried something a bit different. They based it on an island for some reason. They all got stranded. All the family got stranded.
Signpost Island.
Yeah.
Because on the island, all the signposts were all wooden and rubbish.
Yeah, and they kidnapped them and stuff. It was funny, but wasn't my thing. Prefer it.
Just normal signposts.
Yeah, at the house.
I can relate to that.
Talking about the life.
Yeah.
When they go to work and stand and signpost, display the signs, you know.
Those Bendy Road Ahead was my favourite character.
Well, I'm not surprised. Not surprised. You always go for the zany ones, don't you? Always go for the zany ones. Yeah.
I didn't like traffic lights.
No?
I didn't like that traffic lights was in it because I didn't think traffic lights was a signpost. I think that was stretching it.
Well, to be honest, the amount of series they've done, you're going to start running out of ideas. There's got to be a time, hasn't there, where you've used up all the signs.
Yeah.
It's probably reaching that point now. I mean, how many years has it been going on for now?
It's 15, isn't it?
15
it's
years.
Like they had that anniversary special where the wooden ones came back, didn't they?
Yes. Yeah, it was all right, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, but I think they couldn't get the original signs back.
They probably degraded in the rain.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing.
Because that's the thing with the sitcom, they're actual signposts, so they're actually out and about, aren't they?
Well, I think it's funny, isn't it, signposts, because it was originally commissioned on the grounds that it would be cheaper to shoot because you wouldn't have to pay so many actors.
Yeah, well, the BBC didn't have much money 15 years ago, did they?
Exactly.
It's where all the cuts came in, wasn't it?
Yeah.
All the cuts. It's funny, though, isn't it?
It's very funny, just like what we were just talking about.
Yeah.
But yes, I do know signposts as a concept as well.
As well as a sitcom.
Yes.
Yeah. Give away is my favourite, by the way. Give away. That's my favourite sign from signposts.
Well, that one's kind of a dark horse, isn't he?
That's why I like him.
Or to put it another way, a signpost.
But yeah, so you know Signposts, a sitcom.
Yes.
I'm talking about Signposts, the signposts in this little anecdote. Do you want to know more? You just sat there staring at me.
Just thinking about
Signposts.
It's a nice thing to think about.
Yes, do know. I would like to know more. Please tell me more about So because we were talking about superstitions, and you've got a superstition about signposts.
Yeah, we're
that's
track.
weird.
This actually isn't anywhere near as interesting as the improvised shit we've just discussed.
Improvised.
I'm just joking.
Yeah, sorry.
But when I was a kid, I used to think that if I walked underneath a signpost, I would enter a parallel universe where things were just a little tiny bit different. So if I was annoyed with something in life, I'd just go under a signpost and think, right, well, I'm in a different universe now, so maybe it won't be quite as annoying.
Right. All right. I'm trying to work out how practically that works. So, right, are you talking about like 2-pole?
Yeah, 2-pole.
And then you go underneath and it's
into another dimension. That's what I used to think.
And
I used to hope anyway. I used to hope that would happen. That was my superstition.
It was good though, signposts, wasn't it? Do you remember the episode when Keep left? Dropped his breakfast on one of those humps.
Yes, I do.
Yeah,
I do.
his breakfast, which was gravel.
Well, what else would a signpost eat? Oh, you're telling the audience, you're not telling me. Sorry.
Yeah, because I feel like a lot of this podcast's audience won't have watched this.
I've got them all on DVD.
Yes, that's right. They remastered them recently, and they've got all the missing episodes reconstructed, haven't they?
All the old black and white ones from 15 years ago.
Yeah, they got some person from the internet to reconstruct them with bits of cardboard and string.
It's very well done.
Yeah.
It's very well done.
Well, it's weird for me watching it because I remember when those first went out.
Yeah.
Those episodes of Signpost.
Mm.
And I don't know. There's something to be said about your memory of an episode of Signposts being better than the internet cartoon reconstruction of it.
Mm.
There's something to be said for that.
Such is life, really.
Yes.
Yeah. It was a good series.
Yeah.
I can't wait for the new series to start.
Do you remember the film starring Bruce Willis?
Who? Yeah, I do remember the film. I saw it at the cinema. It was back when they had cinemas.
Yes. Back when they had those. Cobley's saying that because he thinks that so much time will have elapsed between us recording this podcast and us putting it out on the internet.
Do you remember when they had podcast?
But there won't be any cinemas anymore. Or signposts.
I think there'll always be signposts. I think there'll always be a place for a signpost, because otherwise...
They're part of the fabric of society.
Like a swamp ahead, you'd just fall into the swamp, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
If I didn't see my swamp ahead signs around the village where I lived, I wouldn't be here today.
Yeah. Swamp ahead was the quiet one, wasn't it?
Yeah, but they had those funny children, those little baby signposts.
Oh yeah, watch out and don't do that.
Yeah, and don't step on the grass.
Oh.
He's like he's a main character now.
Well, he's gone on to stardom subsequently, hasn't he?
Yeah.
He was on that reality show, wasn't he? Don't Eat All the Porridge.
Yeah.
It's like 6 celebrities in a room with some porridge, but they don't have any other food, but whoever eats all the porridge gets kicked out.
Yeah, as far as reality series go, it's not one of the best ones.
Yeah.
But yes, Don't Step on the Grass was on Don't Eat All the Porridge. Don't Eat All the Porridge, ironically, was also a signpost.
Yeah, he was furious
from the
about it,
sitcom.
wasn't he?
Yeah.
Remember his Twitter tirade about that one?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
He was out of order, really, but no, it was good times.
So, have you got any superstitions yourself?
Well, I'm not sure, right, because I don't know if I should tell the story.
Why?
Well, because I don't know if it's true or not. Like, my dad was abducted by aliens, or at least they tried to get him. Or at least that's what he says.
Well, your dad says a lot of things.
Or at least that's what my mum says my dad says.
What? Oh, my husband was abducted by aliens.
Yeah.
Full stop. And you just
Is
accept
that a
that.
superstition?
Well, no. What? Is there any more to this
It's a bit
story?
supernatural, though, isn't it? My mum,
yeah.
My mum swears blind that one night, after a perfectly innocent evening of watching the X-Files episode after episode on one of those omnibus things until the early hours of the morning,
Yeah.
and going to bed, that my dad woke up in his pants, squealing to the heavens whilst ripping down the curtains in their room, that they're coming! They're coming!
Who?
The aliens, I think.
After watching many episodes of the X-Files.
Yeah, I don't know why I mentioned that. I don't know why that was relevant.
All right.
So I think my dad was nearly abducted by aliens.
All right. Okay. Is he all right now? Does he?
Yeah. He sometimes has flashbacks.
Well, we know he suffers from like these mass delusions where he
Yeah.
does bad things,
Yeah.
blackouts and stuff. But
There's blackouts, and then sometimes his eyes will just go completely blank. Which it's a horrible thing to watch.
I've seen it.
Yeah. And he'll like hold his hands to his temples and go, "They're controlling me. I can't be held responsible."
Yeah.
So that's superstition, isn't it?
I guess it is. I guess it is.
But my absolute favourite episode of Signposts would be. Hey, you know what? I think I've got it on VHS.
Really?
Yeah.
You got a VHS player?
Of course I have.
Well, bang it on.
How else am I supposed to watch old telly?
Bang it on. Fuck this podcast. Bang on an episode of Signposts.
Signposts.
I have chosen to come home.
There's something wrong with the television. I hear it even when it's not making a sound.
Where have you been today?
Your daughter Gulfsail is upstairs doing her homework. You didn't even ask how her math is coming along.
Where have you been? in today, don't step on the grass.
We'll talk about your disappointment after dinner.
The cattle can start whistling now.
The cattle?
Kettle.
Is that you? What's the final logarithm of the acute angle?
Look what you've done.
She said acute angle give way.
I found out what happened.
How long ago?
Everyone is a jerk.
You think you know, but you don't know. Not really.
And nobody ever listens to me.
Go to your room, roll the head closed.
Why don't I just live in there forever?
You'll thank us when you're much, much older.
I sometimes wonder if he
Don't say it.
really is my son. I didn't expect to see you here salt spreading.
There's plenty of salt to go around.
This is not a good time.
My pet is missing. Have you seen my pet? Buy one, get one half price.
We haven't seen your pet. Buy one, get one half price.
Are you sure you haven't seen my pet? Buy one, get one half price? It was a gift from my late father-in-law, Duck's Crossing.
Duck's Crossing's name has no place in this house.
I will look elsewhere.
It's him, isn't it?
We said we'd talk after dinner.
We always talk after dinner.
You're frightening everybody again. I finished my algebra homework. I might have done it wrong. It glimmers in the artificial light. Someday you'll learn. We all learn someday.
God say, what are you holding? What are you holding?
I found it in my algebra. It couldn't stay quiet. It looks like it might be.
It's buy one, get one half price. Salt Springs pet.
I made it quiet now. I made it quiet now. Maybe it's already too late.
I think they found us. I think they found us. Amazing. I was going to say that. Stunning. A work of art.
Did you get all the jokes?
I got most of the jokes. It's very clever, isn't it?
Very subtle.
I've always loved signposts. Always. It's always been my number one. Going back to the subject at hand. Did you know I made a voodoo doll once?
Hold on, what? I'd like you to repeat that question, please.
Did you know? Did I ever tell you
Got
that
my attention now.
I once made a voodoo doll.
What?
I was really obsessed with this game on the Amiga called Monkey Island, which is like a little adventure game.
Right.
Which you might have heard of. Basically, the concept of this game, Monkey Island, well, in Monkey Island 2, you make
to rescue the monkeys.
No, well, yeah, but that's at the end. But one part of the puzzle is you've got to make a voodoo doll for somebody that's a knob, and you voodoo them,
one of the
kind of thing. So anyway, I was talking about it at school, and then for some reason decided it'd be great to try and make a voodoo doll of one of the lads that actually volunteered for it.
I've always been curious about this because I've always wondered if they might work.
Well, take it from me, Matt. It didn't.
Right.
No, but I got like a fingernail for the purpose of this podcast. We'll refer to him only as Stephen Mitchell.
Yeah.
Of 24 Ashburg Crescent in Skulls.
Right. It's a good pseudonym.
Yeah. I like to
keep people on their toes.
Yeah. Anyway, Stephen decided to volunteer for this and gave me like some of his nail, hair on his head.
Okay, so I don't know a lot about voodoo.
Neither do I, Matt. The only thing I know about voodoo is on Monkey Island, and that basically says...
Well, that's like the voodoo handbook, isn't it?
I don't know.
That's what it's known as.
Well, I don't know anything about
voodoo
it.
Circles.
So you know a bit about voodoo then?
I know about voodoo circles.
Right. Well, tell me about the voodoo circles.
Well, what happens?
Because my story doesn't get any more interesting than that. We made a voodoo doll. Might not even finished making it actually, and that was that. Yeah, Stephen Mitchell's still around to this day, probably pissing everyone off. Didn't manage to get him killed.
Well, okay, we'll come back to the
with a doll
voodoo circles and then
stamped on it and set it on fire.
Have you still got the doll?
No, I disintegrated it. I sawed it into several sections, burned it, poured petrol on it, swore at it, pissed on it, pulled bits off it with tweezers.
Right. So do you not think that
put it in
perhaps
water.
what you've done to that doll accounts for Stephen Mitchell's problems in later life?
Actually, now you come to mention it, around the time I was doing all that, he did like spontaneously combust and drown and have bits pulled off him with tweezers and was attacked by animals.
But he's still fine.
Well, he's still going. Yeah, he's all right. Kind of all right.
God rest his soul.
Well, he's still alive, isn't he?
Yeah,
He's just on one of those hospital machines.
Yeah.
But he's still alive.
But enough of that bollocks. Yeah, I'm mixing that up a bit for this episode. Yeah. It's time for Cobley's culture section. The section where Cobley talks about his culture. Whatever culture that might be.
Which has potential to be the best part of the podcast.
Yes.
As long as you've done what you set out to do many weeks ago.
Oh, yeah?
And recorded that damn jingle.
The jingle. Yeah. I've
Yep.
got one of them for it at the start of it. At the start of...
I am cautiously...
Well, I think
cautiously optimistic
you'll be
about
happy
this.
with this one because I listened to what you were saying last week about how it should not have your voice in it.
And should be a jingle.
Maybe have professional singer in it, like, I don't know, Matt Cornah or someone.
Just play it, Matt.
Something like that. And I thought what I would do is do that.
Just play it.
Cobley's culture section. Wah, wah, wah.
What was that, Matt?
As,
Just what was that?
That was a jingle for the Cobley's culture section. Do you know how last week you said, "Oh, I love your jingle, Matt. It's great, but it's a shame that it's just still my vocals. So maybe put some professional vocals in there. Put some good ones in it. Put some good vocals in
Matt,
it, and that'll be
no,
really bring the tune out of it."
No. I said make it a fucking jingle.
Yeah.
No. That's not what you've done. All you've done is you've replaced my vocals with something just as dull, but with that stupid fucking kazoo in the background still.
What?
That stupid drum beat that's been I've heard for weeks. I want a jingle, Matt. I want a tune, an actual tune. Yeah, your vocals. That's fine.
I can't believe how much pressure you're putting me on.
I'm not putting any pressure on you. You've had 7 weeks or something. You've had weeks.
I had to sit down. I had to remember the lyrics and record it, and maybe as a bonus feature we could put all the outtakes at the end of this podcast.
Well, the outtakes are me punching the shit out of you.
Oh yeah, you can put those on as well if you want.
Well, that's what's going to happen in a minute. This is what I want, Matt.
You're just too demanding.
No, I'm not demanding. You're just being a twat. You're just being facetious.
I'm not.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not.
Right. I'll spell it out to you.
Okay.
This is what I want. You singing a new jingle.
A new jingle.
More instruments.
More instruments.
A jingle.
Right.
All right, you've got one last chance.
More
or were through.
More instruments. Jingle. Yeah, I think I've got an idea.
You've ruined it for me again. You've ruined like the lead up.
Well,
The weird thing is, I don't even like feel that angry. It's like I expected this from you. Does that not make you even sadder that I'm not mad?
you saying I'm predictable?
No, but does it not make you sadder that I'm not having any emotions anymore towards this? You like drained me over the past 6 weeks, Matt.
I should really put more effort into the things I do for this podcast.
I go home. The wife says, "How was your night, love?" And I just look at her. Look at her.
You're right. I remember when we first started doing the Cobley's culture section of this podcast, we thought this would be the bit of it that everyone would look forward to and the bit that would make it stand out and the bit that everyone would maybe just fast forward through the rest of it. Just go,
Well, yeah.
The brilliant jingle at the start of it would be the bit that everyone would go to. And
You've ruined that for me,
I
Matt.
don't like the idea that I might have let you down. So next week I will do a new... What was it? New instruments and
Yes, a jingle. Yeah, don't put my crappy assed vocals on again.
Yeah.
If you do, then I will hurt you.
Okay, more instruments. Put a jingle on it.
I will hurt you. I'll show no emotion when I'm doing that. We've known each other for 20 something years.
Fucking hell, really?
Yeah,
Oh,
but I will hurt you. Anyway, this is the culture section now, Matt. There's been no lead in. It's just this is it now. In Germany,
I feel like I've soured the atmosphere.
Shut up. In Germany, there's a wide held belief that Father Christmas exists.
Right.
You know, like the kids.
Yes.
And some adults believe that. To the point where they believe that he is real.
That's
yeah.
It's interesting, isn't it? Is that the end?
No.
All right. We should have used that on the Christmas episode. We hadn't thought of the section.
We've not
yet.
thought of that section. No, it was other things. But to counter that, they've invented a anti-Father Christmas called
Anti-Christmas
called Krampus.
I've heard about Krampus. Yeah, he's the one who. Well, I'll tell you what. You can tell the story, but he's sort of like a. It's not.
He's like a
kind of goblin type.
Yeah, basically like an evil, twisted goblin that takes your presents and
sort of building on the principle that only good kids get presents
and bad kids get visits from Krampus.
Who comes around and what is it? Spanks them,
big time.
Spanks them big time.
Yeah, red raw. Yeah, so it's just weird in contrast because obviously like in England, some people believe in Father Christmas. In other parts of the world they do, but there's not a wide held belief that there is an evil out there as well. Do you know what I mean? A darkness that's
okay. So that leads
like the
me to
anti-Santa.
Now you are ambiguous as to whether you believe in Father Christmas or not. You've always been on the fence about this.
This podcast has opened my mind tonight.
Yes.
So, you know, at this moment in time, I don't know what I believe anymore.
Yeah. So, I just, for the sake of transparency, would like to know from you. Do you, as someone from that culture, hold to that belief?
Well, Matt, as we all know...
You've got, like, quite a lot of red raw areas.
Well, Matt, as we all know, I am half German.
Yes.
Nobody knows which half, Matt.
No.
Not even I'm 100% sure. I'm only 50% sure.
I suppose you would be.
Yeah. So in answer to your question, I half believe in Krampus. Next week, jingle or dead.
So this is the part of the show that I think we've all been waiting for. Not least because it's at the end.
Yes.
I have got a Ouija board. I'm going to use it. I'm going to contact the dead. This is going to be amazing podcastery.
It will. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, I think.
So I'll just I'll get it out of its Ouija box. And inside the Ouija box is the Ouija bag.
You should have really done this before, Matt, shouldn't you? You should have done this like the ad
Look,
break.
I can't be expected to prepare. I'm not psychic. Cobley,
What?
what does it mean when you buy a Ouija board and you put it in a Ouija bag and then you put that Ouija bag in a Ouija box
Yeah.
and then you open them both and the Ouija board is gone?
What do you mean it's gone?
It's gone.
What do you mean it's gone?
It's gone.
What do you mean it's gone? Well, I don't know, Matt. Maybe the I don't know, the spirits have taken it away. I don't. You've obviously lost it, haven't you?
Probably lost it, haven't I?
You probably lost it.
Can't believe I've lost my bloody
Just think,
Ouija
Matt,
board.
just think of all the people that have been listening since the beginning of this episode, just for this moment, and you've ruined it. This is just you, this is you in a nutshell, isn't it? This is like a metaphor for our friendship.
Can't believe I've lost
Nothing
it.
inside the box. Well, we might as well just go now, haven't we? I might as well just leave. We've fulfilled our quota for Terry out there. He's going to let me out pass, isn't he?
Go to www.mattandcobley.com.
Yeah, please do. And
Send us a letter.
send us a letter. Listen to old podcasts.
Don't send us a lettuce.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that.
Check out the Matt and Cobley YouTube channel.
Oh yeah, go on the YouTube channel. Yeah. But don't send us any fucking lettuces anymore. After last week.
Take care of yourselves at home. By God, be careful. All my love. And if I find the Ouija board, I'll bring it next week.
Very well.
And we're doing... we're still collecting letters, so maybe we should say what the theme of next week is.
That's what I was thinking that we needed to do. The next letter section will be in 4 weeks or whatever on the last episode. So yeah, send letters about whatever we're talking about, and I don't care.
Next week?
Next week, what is it? Television next week. That's the subject.
We know all about that.
Yeah, we know nothing about televisions.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, okay. Right, well that's the end now.
Okay, I'll shut it off.
Good night. Lights out, Ibiza.
Matt and Cobley's podcast, doo-be-doo-be-doo. Matt and Cobley's podcast, doo-be-doo-be-doo. Matt and Cobley's podcast, doo-be-doo-be-doo.